Well, honestly.
It's just a time lapse.
Just
so,
write
like,
whatever you want.
I just have to write something?
Yeah.
Write whatever you want.
How do I feel? Fuck.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah.
God, this is so depressing. Oh my God.
It's fine.
It's okay.
Someone wrote like I want to cry, so.
Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
It's all right. I wrote drained, so.
Feeling really empty lately.
I'm doing okay right now. I've prepared a little bit, so I think that's most of the reason
Feeling pretty
why.
stressed for finals.
I'm really ready to go.
Feeling worn down.
I feel like shit.
If you're not struggling right now on some level, you're not paying attention, right?
I would say there's definitely times, especially at school, where it gets hard mentally, just because I feel like my major especially is just a mental trigger sometimes.
Yeah.
I would say maybe like 5 to 6 hours on like chiller weeks, and then on my busy days, I'm probably in here for every bit of my waking moment besides classes. So. I personally view professors as older generations. And sometimes it's hard for older generations to really understand mental health because it really just wasn't talked about when they were going through school or like in their ages, like when they were our age. So I think it's hard for them to grasp or really like truly know and be knowledgeable on the topic of mental health just because it really wasn't researched much back then. So to them, it's almost an excuse per se.
I've become more and more open with my students and saying that mental health is something that our society right now, I don't think deals with very well. I don't think the university deals with it in an optimal fashion. I think, struggles are struggles and you need to dignify them and acknowledge them as human things that all of us go through. And so I'm also open about myself and say, listen, some days I'm just really struggling. And so I use that as an invitation for students to feel okay to struggle, and also to know that I'm a resource, or at least I could be a springboard to further resources if students do feel like they need help and they aren't getting it at that moment.
The 1/2 times W to the 1/2 times Q to the 1/2, but because, the solve it, I think. Because then we're only taking the derivative and towards finals week, I can feel myself getting more anxious and depressed when it comes to the only thing I do in the day is study and do homework. There's been cases where I physically just could not get homework assignments done for a class because I've had so much work to do. Some of my friends have way larger workloads than I even do, and I see them struggling a lot trying to get work done late at night. I feel like some professors could just be a little more understanding with how much stuff we're doing.
It is a limbo, and it's one that I wish I didn't have to negotiate because I certainly want to make sure that every student is given an ample chance to do well in a class. And not all students are the same. There are things that come up unexpectedly for certain students. So I've been more flexible and more understanding than usual, but on the flip side, and I hate that I feel this way, you do worry a little bit sometimes about being taken advantage of. And you also worry about setting dangerous precedents. Like, I don't want to ever make it seem like deadlines no longer matter, because the real world doesn't work that way, and we're training students for the real world at the end of the day. And especially nowadays, I think there's a balance that needs to be hit right. And the balance is, on one side, I want to make sure that there's rigor. Rigor is important. I know students often say, at least, that they'd rather not have rigor, but you don't learn anything unless you really kind of have, a good deal of responsibilities on your shoulders in terms of daily homework, studying for exams, taking for exams, doing research for papers. I need to make sure that that's all there, because if you reduce all of that, then it just simply becomes the equivalent of, you could get all this from reading a book, but college is much more than that. On the other side, though, especially nowadays, we do have to be worried a little bit about expecting too much. I don't know what the answer is. I just feel like, you know, I don't know that there's like a recipe list that says, here's the 5 things that we need to do better. It's more of a holistic, I think cultural, let's look out for each other, let's be nice to each other, let's be kind to each other, let's be accepting of each other. That probably solves a lot of the issues that students go through, not all of them, but you know, I think feeling like there's a sense of belonging goes a long way to feeling good about where you are in your life. Give me a second, I do want to say something else, but let me think how to say this. You know, this is gonna sound hokey, but I hope everyone realizes that, you know, I'm pretty sure I speak for all faculty that we care deeply about our students, but also as people. And I don't want anyone to feel like they can't go to one of their professors or one of their instructors if they're struggling. I'm not a mental health professional, so I usually can't actually directly help a student who is struggling, but I certainly can point them in the right direction to get the help that they need. But sometimes students just need to chat. Sometimes students just want to come to my office and talk about football. That's cool. I can do that. I want to do that, probably more often than I should. But sometimes, you know, I think we forget that we are human beings too, and I recognize my students are human beings. I remember what it's like to be 18 to 21. We're looking out for you, and if there's anything we can do, don't ever hesitate to let one of us know.